Salute and greetings. This is a old book I had when I was going to Wayne County Community College. It's old as hell. I'm talking about 1980 something. But I just wanted to know the methodology of how the Caucasian operates and how he gets into the minds of different ethnic groups. And it's got how he tests stuff. It's got, I want to show you. See those brain waves right there? Vibrations, right? Those waves, when you play a musical instrument, they show up. Well, that's how deep he done got into. That's where you get algorithms and all like that from, when you get artificial intelligence, they went inside the human brain, you see. Studied that operation. So we're going to get into the Satan's Bible, the working agenda, generational agenda of devils. And then this piece here is called the Empire of the Cities. Now I want you to dig on this for a minute.
A third city-state was officially created in 1982. That city-state is called the District of Columbia and is located on 10 square miles of land in the heart of Washington. The District of Columbia flies its own flag and has its own independent constitution. Although geographically separate, the city-states of London, the Vatican, and the District of Columbia are one interlocking empire called Empire of the City. The flag of Washington's District of Columbia has 3 red stars, one for each city-state in the 3-city empire. This corporate empire of 3 city-states controls the world economically through London's inner city, militarily through the District of Columbia, and spiritually through the Vatican. The Constitution for the District of Columbia operates under a tyrannical Roman law known as Lex Fori, which bears no resemblance to the U.S. Constitution. When Congress passed the Act of 1871, it created a separate corporate government for the District of Columbia.
Now, if you got a research crew together, y'all go about looking it up. Or, if you don't, still look up this, what she's talking about. And you could tell that it's somewhat true because you can see it unfolding right today, right up under your very nose.
This treasonous act allowed the District of Columbia to operate as a corporation outside the original Constitution of the United States and outside of the best interests of American citizens. A sobering study of the signed treaties and charters between Britain and the United States exposes a shocking truth. The United States has always been, and still is, a British Crown colony. King James I was famous not for just changing the Bible into the King James Version, but for signing the first Charter of Virginia in 1606. That charter granted America's British forefathers a license to settle and colonize America. The charter also guaranteed that future kings and queens of England would have sovereign authority over all the citizens and colonized land in America stolen from the Indians. After America declared its independence from Great Britain, the Treaty of 1783 was signed. That treaty specifically identifies the King of England as the Prince of the United States and contradicts the belief that America won the War of Independence. Although King George III of England gave up most of his claims over his American colonies, he kept his right to continue receiving payment for his business venture of colonizing America. If America had really won the War of Independence, they would never have agreed to pay debts and reparations to the King of England. When Congress passed the 13th Amendment to the Constitution, the U.S. President was made subservient to the King of England. The 13th Amendment is called the Title of Nobility Amendment and forbids U.S. presidents and their officials from using royal titles like king or prince or baron. For some mysterious reason, the 13th Amendment, which was ratified in 1810, no longer appears on current copies of the Constitution. America's blood-soaked War of Independence against the British bankrupted America and turned its citizens into permanent debt slaves of the King. In the War of 1812, the British torched and burned to the ground the White House and all U.S. government buildings and destroyed ratification records of the U.S. Constitution. 1 century later, a corrupt U.S. Congress committed the biggest theft in world history. They passed
Now this is where we at now, the Federal Reserve. I showed you the difference between that Federal Reserve dollar. I'm going to show it to you again though. Hold on. Okay, this is the Federal Reserve note. It's a debt dollar created out of thin air. Now this right here is a $2 Treasury note. You're supposed to redeem gold with this. In other words, you're supposed to take this to the Treasury and get, well, is this a silver certificate or a gold certificate? No, this is a note too. This is a note too. But this one right here is a silver certificate. A dollar bill silver certificate. Not a Federal Reserve note, but a U.S. Treasury silver certificate. Supposed to get its weight, value in silver. So they've been covering stuff up, you know, running away from the criminal act of stealing from the public. And the public, you know, the black man, you know, like you always been a slave, so. But the Caucasians, they're a slave now, also, but they still a rank above you. This is Black Light. Stay tuned for the next one.